And I was like, okay. And I was like, it's because of just some of the things I was talking about. And I was like, oh, holy moly, when I was listening to this. So, and I was chatting to Bob a bit about it. If you're like, if you think of grading your life, and obviously your ideal is your A plus, and I suppose that's really your Ace of Pentacles. That's your dream life. That's the thing. That's your A plus life. And then if you were to think about where are you just now, what she was saying is then because it comes down to a lot around what are you valuing in life and where are there mismatches and stuff. And what you can find is the people who get stuck in a B plus life are like, life feels good enough. Life feels all right. You're probably doing well financially. You know, you're not in a struggle. You're not in like a grind. You're not in that things feel hard and sticky. Um, and it's like, you might be like, well, I'm happy enough. Um, I'm
Mm,
all right. And I'm thinking, God, I could so relate to this because I was like, I was in a B plus life. I had a nice relationship, had a nice house, I had a nice job, but it wasn't fulfilling me. It wasn't my A plus. But what she was saying is when you're in that B plus life, is that it's so satisfying to a point you just settle. Whereas if you're in like a B, a B minus, a C, a D, an F, your life feels there's something wrong, there's a motivator, there's a something that feels shitty or pushing you to go, no, I want more. And so you take action. But when you're in the B plus lane, you don't necessarily take the action and you just feel, you're like, because it's almost that don't be ungrateful. Because so many
yeah,
people who are thinking my life is a C, I'd love a B plus life. But it's like, well, we all want to
yeah,
aspire to the A plus life. And it's like,
yeah,
it's a really fascinating listen. And I just thought to myself, I was like, that's so relatable. And then if I think
mm,
of where am I now, I suppose in terms of like some of my values, because actually you can go onto her website. She's a lecturer somewhere and she's got this thing called, I think it's the 10-10-10 program. But you can go in and do like a sort of free quiz which talks through the values through her lens. And then you start to see where there are mismatches between where your life is, because you answer questions on what you would like your life, your ideal life to look like and feel
yeah,
like on a sliding scale. And then you
mm-hmm,
answer it, where are you now? So
mm,
it's a lot of things like for me are around like making a difference to the world, like leaving a legacy. That's a big driver for me. And
mm,
so I've got a big disconnect at the moment because I don't feel necessarily that I'm making the legacy or leaving, like I'm building or creating or whatever, the legacy that's there or that I would really, really like to.
do you have a
But
vision
then,
of what that legacy looks like?
sort of, yeah, sort of no. I mean, I think there's so many, like, and this is the thing, like, if I think about when I've been doing a lot of the playing big thing, is a lot of women get stuck in a B plus life because
Mm,
like, we're almost conditioned to be like, well, you've got a great job and you're empowered to do blah blah blah. Whereas
yeah,
like,
you should
and
be
so
happy with
sometimes
your
the thing
lot.
that you really, yeah, and then so that thing that you're like, when I was, you think back to what did you want to do or be, or like, the thing that feels fucking massive, and you maybe don't really talk about it a lot. I mean, it might not actually be massive, but it feels big to you. And so,
Mm,
like, that's really where, and then I think the other thing is giving myself grace around it's like, and this is some of the learnings around like the playing big and supporting others is like, it's like you don't have to get from where you are today to your A plus life tomorrow. And so it's also about like, what are the steps? How can you take small leaps? What are the small things you can do to kind of build that progress? And a lot of it's even just like being
yeah,
curious, and a lot of the other stuff around, like for me, like a lot of my embodiment work and, even things where we go like meditation and connecting with your ancestors or using your tarot and your oracle. They're tools to kind of
mm,
create a bit of peace and calm. So you can actually think about what is that big thing that you really, really, really want to do and how are you going to get
mm,
there? Because
yeah,
the mind monkeys, or chip as my inner critic is called, is hella noisy when it's the
yeah,
thing that you're like, holy crap.